Hello guys, we are sitting on the floor right now and I am about to open a box of books. So I wanted to do a video where I just got mystery books and read them, and that was my TBR. Sorry, my cat's attacking stuff. And I kind of got the idea from Books and Lala. If you haven't seen her channel, go do that now. Okay, he's trying to eat everything, so he's here with us now. So Books and Lala did a video or two where she paid for book recommendations and then bought the books and read those, and that was her like forced TBR. So I found a website called the Book Bundler online. I think it was advertised to me on Facebook, and I ordered some books. Basically, you get mystery books, so you choose like a genre. And they just send you so many books for so much money. So I chose young adult, and it was 5 hardcover books for I think $15 and then tax, and then there was a free shipping code, so I didn't have to pay shipping, which was nice. Normally it's $5 for every 15 pounds of books you get. And you can do like graphic novels, you could do children's books. So I think like for children's books, it's especially a good deal if you have kids, because the children's books, one, were cheap and you get a ton of them in a box just because they're so small. So it is November 3rd today, but I am doing 2 readathons this month. So I will probably actually start this readathon after I'm done with those. So it'll probably actually be more like December, maybe my December break that work gives us. But I have the box now. I thought it might take a long time to ship, and it really only took, it really only took like a week or two. It didn't take very long to get to me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open it. Somebody's been chewing on the box and trying to get into it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open it now and show you guys the books, and then we'll just resume filming. We'll resume filming this video when I actually start reading the books. Let's see what we're getting. So I said young adult, and you can also add a request or like a note. I don't remember what the phrasing was, but I just requested that they not give me any books in a series because I did not want to deal with them giving me like the 2nd or 3rd book in a series. And I also am kind of a completionist, and I have a hard time if I start a series not wanting to finish a series even if I didn't enjoy the book, which isn't great, because if you hate the first book of a series, I just like feel like I have to finish it, even though I don't. I know I don't. But I didn't want to end up with a bunch of series books and then feel like I should continue reading and then need to buy books or get like the 2nd or 3rd book in a series and not be able to read it because I don't have the first books. Somebody knocked my camera over. So I assume you could also ask for like genres. So I did young adult, but like within young adult you have contemporary, romance, thriller, whatever. So I imagine you could request something more specific and they could tailor it. But I just figured I would see what I get and just kind of go with it, because for the most part I will read any genre, except I don't really read horror and I don't read a lot of sci-fi. I just don't typically go for it. Goodness gracious, this intro. He just tried to jump from my table to a windowsill and then fell. So let's see what we get. I think they advertise that their books come from like 1990 to like current or something like that. Oh, there's a little nice note. It says, "Thank you" on the box. Also, if your books come in like really bad condition and stuff, I think you can send them back and request another one. Or in the event that you get duplicate books, you can send one back and get another one. On their website, it says that duplicates don't really happen, but you can order up to like 50 books at once. So I imagine if you do something like that, there is a much higher chance of you getting duplicates than if you're doing something like me, where you're getting 5 books, because if you get a duplicate with 5 books, that's just kind of sad. So let's start from the beginning. Oh, is something I'm actually familiar with. 13 Reasons Why. I've not read the book. I have seen the first 2 seasons, I think. Is there a 3rd season? If so, I have not watched it. But I actually didn't expect to find anything that I was familiar with at all. It's in decent condition. There is a tear. It's a little bit battered up here. But, I mean, honestly, it's $3 a book. So I can't really ask for much. Yeah, that's crazy. So for those who don't know anything about this, I'm just going to read the synopsis. If you don't like me reading synopses, just skip until the I start reading books, I guess. So it says, Clay Jensen returns home from school to find a strange package with his name on it lying on his porch. Inside, he discovers several cassette tapes recorded by Hannah Baker, his classmate and crush, who committed suicide 2 weeks earlier. Hannah's voice tells him that there are 13 reasons she decided to end her life. Clay is one of them. If he listens, he'll find out why. Clay spends the night crisscrossing his town with Hannah as his guide. He becomes a first-hand witness to Hannah's pain and learns the truth about himself, a truth he never wanted to face. I'm actually kind of looking forward to reading that. And this is one where, like, I'll show you the first page. But, like, the print is not huge, but, like, the gaps between them, so I feel like it'll go pretty fast, which is always nice. That's cool. I don't think I would ever have added this to my TBR, but I don't mind reading it. So the next one is Summerland. So this immediately does not intrigue me or make me want to read it. Something about this cover, just like I would never see it in a bookstore and pick it up. Obviously I have no idea what it's about. And there's a, what? There's a RC Revenge Pro instruction manual in the back of the book. Oh my goodness, and there's a super bust-a-move ad on the back. I used to love that game as a kid. If you don't know what that is, just look it up. It's an old PlayStation game. That's funny. These are used books, so I'm not surprised that there's a random little thing in the back, but let's find out what this is about. Again, whoa, this is one that will go quickly. I always like to look at the books and see how small the print is and how much the spacing is, because sometimes if I just want something that's going to be a lighter read, I pick up something that has bigger spacing and bigger font because I know I'll get through it faster. And then other books, if it's like tiny, tiny font, no spacing, I have to really want to read that story in order to get through it. Like mass, what are they called? The mass market paperbacks. I have a hard time reading those. But this print is like huge. This is the first page. So the synopsis says, Summerland is a magical place where the local Little League gathers to play baseball on a perfectly manicured lawn. I'm never attracted to books about sports. And the sun is always shining in a flawless blue sky. However, the small beings known as Farishers, who ensure this perfect weather, are threatened by an ancient enemy and need a hero, a baseball star, in fact, to vanquish their foe. This sounds very cheesy and very, like, 90s. I wonder when this was published. Well, the copyright is 2004. The Farishers recruit Ethan Feld, possibly the worst ball player in the history of the league, as their chosen leader. No one is more surprised than Ethan at their choice, but their fate spurs him on. Accompanied by his determined friend Jennifer T. Rideout and a motley crew of creatures that includes everything from a Sasquatch to a werefox, Ethan struggles to defeat giants, bat-winged goblins, and one of the toughest ball clubs in the realms of magic to save the Summerlands and ultimately the world. Michael, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Chabon, one of the most acclaimed storytellers of our time, creates a whole new universe, richly drawn from American folklore, the legendary beings, monsters, and mythical creatures inhabiting a magical landscape where the powers of the past and the future of good and evil are locked in grand battle. This is not a book I would ever read. It could be really good, but it is not something that I would probably ever pick up. So this will be interesting. I'm also interested to see how all of these will rate on Goodreads, but I don't know if I want to look at it before I read the books. We'll see. Okay, so the next one is The Nanny Diaries. Again, not something that would intrigue me. Also, I have to say, this book is in pretty good condition. Like, the jacket is a little bit, like, bendy, but other than that, it looks fine. This one, though, there's, like, it's kind of dirty on the front. I don't know if you can see that. I know nothing about this, so let's read about it. Who wouldn't want this job? Struggling to graduate from NYU and afford her microscopic studio apartment, Nanny takes a position caring for the only son of the wealthy X family. Is her name Nanny? She rapidly learns the insane amount of juggling involved to ensure that a Park Avenue wife who doesn't work, cook, clean, or raise her own children has a smooth day. When the X's marriage begins to disintegrate, Nanny ends up involved way beyond the bounds of human decency or good taste. Her tenure with the X family becomes a nearly impossible mission to maintain the mental health of their 4-year-old, her own integrity, and, most important, her sense of humor. Over 9 tense months, Mrs. X and Nanny perform the age-old dance of decorum and power as they test the limits of modern-day servitude. The Nanny Diaries deftly skewers the manner in which America's overprivileged race, les petits overprivileged, as if grooming them for a best-in-show competition. Written by 2 former nannies, this alternately comic and poignant satire punctures the glamour of Manhattan's upper class. Again, this is not a book that I would probably ever reach for or pick up if I was in a bookstore, but it sounds like it could be decent. Like, I have some hope for this. We'll see, I guess. The next book, this already makes me laugh, is The Taker. This makes me laugh because school. I don't know. I was always really big into school. I always loved school. Again, this is one with, like, giant print. The other one had, like, normal kind of small print. I don't know why this matters to me so much, but it does. But, like, look, the spacing in that and the font of that compared to the other one. This one just, like, feels like it has food all over it and it's gross, and I feel like I need to wipe it down. So this one is called The Taker. It has to do with the SAT. So let's see. Carly Beals has a future that's right on track. She's a great student, mostly A's and B's. Her boyfriend is a captain of the lacrosse team, and she's a shoo-in for Princeton. Her dad's an alumni, love that legacy status. She's never been great at test taking, so nerve-wracking, but she always figured she'd do well enough on the SAT to get by. But when Carly gets her scores, she has to face it. She tanked. Really tanked. Not even genius tutor Ronald Gross, rhymes with floss, could help her get her scores as high as she needs. Then she gets a mysterious note signed The Taker. The Taker will take the SAT for her and guarantee a score within 150 points of perfect, for a price. Does Carly agree to use The Taker, regret it, get in way over her head, or all of the above? Well, obviously all of the above, or there wouldn't be a book about it. Again, this is one, I don't know. Maybe if it was like in the library and I was bored and couldn't find anything to read, this is something I would pick up, but it's probably not something that I would like look for. So I don't know. I also think maybe several years when I was like taking the SAT and trying to get into college, I would have been more intrigued by this, but now that that part of my life is over, I don't know how interesting this will be. It might be kind of fun to like look back on that time, but yeah, I don't know. So the next book, again, this is one that looks like it needs to be wiped down. There's like just random crud on it, but this one's actually like in pretty good condition. It's called Jane Green, Swapping Lives. This is like normal print, not super huge print like the other ones. This is, you know. Let's read what this is about. So it says, Vic Townsley is a single solvent? I work in chemistry and we have like solvents and solutes, and that's all I can think of. I can't figure out in context what that's supposed to mean. And seriously successful. Features director of the hugely successful Poise magazine. She has an amazing flat, like the apartment, good friends, a fantastic wardrobe, in short, everything except the life she wants. Marriage, children, and a house in the country. On the other side of the Atlantic, Amber Winslow has a stone mansion in Connecticut, 2 kids, and a full-time nanny, the requisite golden retriever, and a busy charitable commitment for the local women's league. But she hasn't quite found the fulfillment she had expected being a wife and mother. When she spots an intriguing contest in Poise, Amber never expects to be picked. Swapping Lives is a riotous and poignant look at what happens when 2 women, both of whom think their happiness lies somewhere else, walk in each other's shoes for a month, only to discover that the grass is not always greener and happiness is closer than you think. A rich, wry, and clever chronicle of the true lives of women, Swapping Lives is a must-read for the modern woman. That synopsis reminds me of the, like, Swapping Wife TV show. That, I don't know, is it just called Swapping Wives? It might have a different name. I don't know. And it's always, like, sort of intrigued me, but I've never sat and watched it. This probably isn't something I would really reach for, but the premise intrigues me. So I would say, in the order of, like, least interested to most interested, let's see. Least interested is definitely Summerland. I just am not intrigued by that. I'm kind of like the same, kind of like meh, could be okay with The Nanny and The Taker. I'm like kind of like, yeah, I wouldn't mind reading this with this. This actually I'm intrigued by. I would like to read this book. And then this one I'm probably the most interested in reading, but that might be also because I have some sort of familiarity with the story. But yeah, I am glad I have a mix of like long and short books. None of them are really that long. Let's see, 13 Reasons Why is 288 pages. That's not bad. Jane Green is 410 pages. Or Swapping Lives. The author's name is Jane Green. The name of the book is Swapping Lives. The author's name is so big. You would think like if it's that big, that's the title of the book, right? But I guess not. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I like this better without the dust jacket. I think it looks much better with just the white. Anyway, that's not too bad. My cat's trying to eat the box. This is 349. It doesn't seem that thick though. How many pages is this? This is about 300. And this is 408. So of course the one that I want to read least is the longest, but at least the print in the spacing is like quite large. You see those whiskers? He is now climbing on the chair that my phone is sitting on while I film this. Okay, so I will get to reading these books when I get to them, and we will continue filming from there. Okay, so I took a moment and I did look up the ratings for the books. Just out of curiosity, I'm still gonna read the books either way, and I don't think knowing what it's rated is really gonna affect the way that I choose to rate it, but I was just kind of curious. So obviously the best rated book, according to Goodreads, I'm just going up the Goodreads ratings, is 13 Reasons Why, and that's really no surprise. It's the only book I've heard of, definitely like the most popular of all these books. If you guys have heard of any of these books, let me know. I have not. The next book, 13 Reasons Why 13 Reasons Why has a rating of 3.92, so it's almost a 4-star. The next book is Swapping Lives, which is probably the, like, right after 13 Reasons Why, the second book I'd be most interested in reading. It has a 3.58 rating. Oh wait, no, that's not right. The Taker was 3.6, and this is 3.58, so they're pretty close. And then the next book is actually Summerland, which is 3.56, which is also really close to Swapping Lives, which was 3.58. And then the Nanny Diaries is the lowest rated at 3.43. Regardless, I'll still be reading all these books. I expect I'll like this one the least, and I'll like 13 Reasons Why the most. I think this will be an interesting experiment because most of these books are not ones I would normally pick up. I would like to try to do this with adult novels at some point, but I wanted to be able to complete this in a short-ish period of time, and I figured if I went with adult novels, the chance of me finishing them was lessened than going with a young adult because they're typically either shorter or like more fluffy, like the print is just huge. So it makes it a little bit easier to get through them, and I just thought it would be kind of fun. Also, I am taking a risk reading books that potentially I'll hate. So if I'm going to do that, I might as well read something that's not going to take me as long to read, if that makes sense. Also, it'll be an interesting experience because typically when I go to buy books, unless it's an author that I know I already love or a book that everybody's raving about and I just really want to read it, if I'm on the fence about a book, I will take out my phone and check the Goodreads rating. And if the rating isn't like a 4-star or above, I typically won't buy the book. And none of these books would qualify except 13 Reasons Why. It was right on the cusp of 4 stars, so I probably would have bought it, but the other 4 were under, so I would not have. And out of curiosity, I think these do have the prices. So this book is $24.95 originally. This one is $22.95. This one is $15.99. These are US prices. This one is $24.95. And this one is $16.99. So remember, we got each of these for $3. So if you have kids, or if you just want to read a lot, or if you don't know what to read and you want just random books, this honestly isn't a bad route to go. And I'm sure you could ask for certain things and they would be happy to oblige. Anyway, I am going to stop talking for now because I have been talking for forever, and hopefully I can cut some of this down so that you don't have to listen to me talk for 20 minutes. Good morning, guys. Today is Saturday, December 5th, and I'm gonna be finally starting on my December TBR. I haven't read at all this week, I don't think. And I was thinking about trying to finish Into the Water, which I wanted to read in November before I start on this TBR, but I think I just need to start on it or I'm not gonna finish all the books. So we're gonna get started. I would like to start with 13 Reasons Why, because it's the one book in the TBR that I'm sort of familiar with. I think I've seen like the first season. I don't know. There's like 3 out, I think. It's okay. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but like it's okay. For me, it didn't quite live up to the hype, I guess. Maybe I'm just not into that as much as other people. So yeah, gonna get reading. This week was really busy with work and just personal life stuff, so I need to try to read on the weekends, and thankfully I'll have December 24th through January 1st off. I think the 1st is a Friday though, so I guess through January 3rd, if that's the Sunday. So hopefully I'll get a lot of reading done during those days. But I did also, as you will know, I just built myself a computer. Though the way in which my videos come up, sometimes it's hard to tell what's happened. So I built my computer just a couple days ago, so very, very beginning of December, which I feel like is kind of distracting for me reading because I was focused on getting it built and then installing everything and playing with it. and that's why I have done no reading during the week. So I'm gonna try to do like half an hour of reading this morning. I might do some later tonight, but let's be real, I'm probably gonna end up playing games on my computer. But at least if I do a little bit, at least I can get started on this book. So I'm gonna sign off, do a little bit of read. Okay, so I'm about like 35, 36 pages in. I'd say so far I actually like it. I think I like reading it better than the TV show. It's been a while since I watched it though. But the way that it's written, I like that you have, so you have the tapes. I'm sure most people know, but I'm gonna try not to give spoilers, but you have these tapes, and so what's being said in the tapes is in italics, and then what the character listening to the tapes is doing or thinking is in just like normal print. So it's kind of interesting having that like back and forth. I kind of appreciate, because I don't know how they do it in the TV show. I don't remember. It's been so long since I watched it. But yeah, I'm actually enjoying it for the moment, and I don't know how it ends. So I don't feel like I've had the book spoiled for me. I kind of like remember some stuff that happens in the beginning and the middle, but like that's about it. Hello. So yeah, I'm actually enjoying it. Hopefully I'll read some more this weekend as well. I think it was a good first pick because, what are you doing? I guess he would like to read the book now. Silly cat. Anyway, I think it was a good first pick because it's something that I'm semi-familiar with, and of all the books, I think it's one that I'll probably enjoy the most. But we'll see if I'm correct on that. Well, I guess it's a good thing I'm done reading, because it's kind of hard to read when he's right in front of the book. I was gonna get up and do laundry though. Okay, I'm only 11 pages in, and there's a couple things that are a little bit annoying. For one, the main character called her parents the Runts, and then they also, she says we would make a mad sprint to Bucks. I'm assuming that stands for Starbucks. Why do you need to abbreviate those words? I don't get it. It's weird. Okay, so I'm about 30 pages in. I was getting really cold, so I took a break to put some socks on and make myself some apple cider so I can drink that while I'm reading. That's the air fryer. I like the format of it, like the way it's written. So there's like surviving the SAT tips and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. Obviously in relation to the book, not actual tips. I feel like I have to remember, like, this is written from like a 17, 18-year-old perspective. So kind of like go back to that mindset, because obviously I can't relate to that as much now as I would have been able to as a teenager, and the stress of taking tests, because I also really hated taking tests, especially standardized tests. Very, very stressful. So far, I think it's okay. But I'm not convinced. I don't know. Hey guys, it is Monday now. I'm about 125-ish pages into this. I'm gonna read some more tonight. I'm actually really enjoying the book, even though I didn't think I would. Like, I thought I would, and then the first like 15, 20 pages, I was like, don't like it. And then I've started to warm up to it, so we'll see. I've made myself some tea because I'm so tired today. And it's snowing outside, so it is the perfect weather for reading. I have my blinds open so I can watch the snow. I'm secretly hoping it snows all night, but it is supposed to start raining. So I could either wake up to snow and icy roads in the morning, or just to a lot of wetness, which is pretty typical in Washington. I guess we'll see. Alright guys, it is Christmas Day, but I did manage to finish this book yesterday. I actually really liked it. I would give it maybe like a 3.5 stars. It wasn't like amazing. I feel like the main character, like she's an aspiring writer, but it just didn't really feel authentic. There's some, I don't know, for the most part it was good. The whole ploy about the taker is like, when you get to the end, you see it coming. And it's kind of like, okay, roll my eyes at this. Kind of weird. But I liked the, like, romantic relationship in it. Or friendship, I don't know. They kind of leave it broad. But I liked that aspect of it. And that kind of saved the book and kept me wanting to read. So I'd give it like a 3.5. I think a Goodreads. I just went ahead and put 3. So the next book I'm going to read is Swapping Lives. It's been so long since I actually read the synopsis to you guys that I don't remember what it's about, but we're gonna go for it. Hey guys, so I'm here reading some more of this book. Oh, there's a cat. I am enjoying it. I definitely don't hate it. There are definitely parts that have made me laugh and that I think are kind of funny. But I was hoping that the actual swap would happen sooner in the story. They don't swap lives until about page 250. And it's a 400-ish page book, which means a majority of it is setting up the swap. Which I do kind of understand, like you need to get into the lives of these people to really understand what they're getting into. But I feel like they could have shown the lives of these people after they swapped. With a book like this, I feel like I go into it wanting to read about them swapping lives. I want to hear the funny stories of like mishaps that happen. And we're finally at that point, and I think I'm enjoying it more now that we're at that point. But it feels like it's going to be a short kind of like swap portion of the book. And then we're going to get like, oh, this is what they learned from it, blah, blah, blah. But overall, it's not a bad book. There were 1 or 2 things that they said in this book that I was like, I don't appreciate that, but I don't remember what it was now. But there were just 1 or 2 things that was a little bit off-putting. At the moment, I would say it's like a 3.5 star, max 4 star. I'm not sure what I'll end up rating at the end. Currently, I'm on page 317, so I am close to finishing it. So I'm going to sit and read this. I don't know if I'm going to finish it today, but hopefully I'll get a decent chunk done. Hey guys, ignore the mess of my hair. I slept in this braid, so it is kind of a disaster. But I feel like it's been a while since I've vlogged. Initially, I was supposed to have this done in a month, and it's now been a little over 2. But I've been reading the Nanny Diaries, sort of, but I'm just getting bored. Let's be real. There's a chance that I'll DNF it. I don't DNF books. I just have a hard time relating to the characters, and I'm not finding it that interesting. So I'm going to attempt to start reading Summerland, which is another one that I don't think I'm going to enjoy. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm hoping what's going to save me is the fact that the print is like so large. It should not take me long to get through each page. So hopefully the fact that I can fly through it a little bit quicker will help motivate me to actually read. So we're gonna start reading this and hopefully I can actually make some progress. Okay, it's not Summerland. It's a different book. So this is the jacket. So I just assumed that that was the correct book. And I noticed that under the cover, it has like this dark, like it's nothing like the cover. And I was like, oh, let me see what it looks like. It's this. Completely different book. It's not Summerland at all. Honestly, the cover of this intrigues me a lot more than Summerland does. So maybe I'll like this. Let's see what it's actually about. I haven't even read the synopsis. I just saw that and I was like, wait, what? Oh no. This is book 3. Okay, I'm gonna look on Goodreads and see if like, do I need to read the other 2 books to read this first? Or are they sort of standalone? But it is like, so the first 2 books are Midnight for Charlie Bone and Charlie Bone and the Time Twister. I don't know. I'm going to see. I don't like reading books out of order. And I told them no books in a series, but it had the wrong dust jacket on. Basically, the synopsis, it says, this semester at Bloor's Academy brings a few changes. There is a new art teacher, Mr. Boldova, and a new student, Belle, who lives with the U-beam aunts and seems to have a strange power over them. Emma and Charlie soon discover Mr. Boldova's secret identity. He is the older brother of Ollie Sparks, the boy who lives in the attic of Bloor's Academy. Ollie had always been prying into matters that didn't concern him, so Ezekiel Bloor made him invisible. When Charlie and his friends find him, Ollie is alone and hungry. They promise to make Ollie visible again with the aid of his brother, Mr. Boldova. Can Charlie and his friends save Ollie? To me, it almost especially with the cover, gives me Harry Potter vibes. It's so frustrating that it's the third book in a series, though. Okay, I can't find anything on, if it's okay to read as a standalone. I feel like maybe it is. I'm going to attempt to read it. If I'm completely lost because I need to know what happened to the other two books, I'll stop. But I'm going to attempt to. It does look like it's maybe a middle grade book. So hopefully if there's something that I was supposed to know, it'll kind of recap. And then if I enjoy it, maybe I'll go back and read the other ones. I don't know. On Goodreads, it has a 3.9 star review. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. I feel like, especially when you read middle grade books as an adult, sometimes they don't sit well, or at least not as well as if you were reading it at the age that it was intended to be read. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to read it and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, so it is Saturday and this is the final verdict. I'm not reading this book. I read the first 10 pages, I think, maybe 20. 10 pages. I read the first 10 pages, and the problem is that within the first 10 pages they reference so many people that I feel like I should already have some grasp of who they are from the previous two books, and that's annoying to not really get what's going on. So I'm not going to read it. I am probably going to end up donating the book. I don't know if I want to try to find the other books and read those and then read this one. I'm not interested in it enough to really go buy the books, even though they're probably cheap. So it'll probably end up getting donated to somebody who wants it. Also, it seems kind of derivative of Harry Potter. And I mean, I only read the first 10 pages, so I can't really say for sure. But just looking at the cover, I think I might have mentioned this. It definitely Harry Potter vibes. And then they were talking about how they're going to school and someone's hiding a snake in the castle, and the snake hugs you and it turns you invisible. And I don't know. There's some of the themes was kind of okay. Maybe the author was inspired by Harry Potter, except it doesn't seem as well written. Granted, again, I only read the first 10 pages, so I can't completely make a judgment call on that one. So we're not reading that. I don't know if I would even call it a DNF because I barely even started it, but we're just going to choose not to read that. It also hurts my heart to read books out of order. I am a little obsessive compulsive sometimes, and I'm definitely more of a anal retentive type person, and I can't. I tried, I can't do it. So we're going to try to finish this book. Like I was saying, I'm having a hard time, it's just not keeping my attention, but I only have, I think, 185 pages left in the book, so I'm going to try to just read it all today, because it's the last book in this challenge, and if I read it, then I can be done with it, and I can edit this video, and I can upload it, and you guys can see how this went. Yeah, we're just gonna try to push through. All right, guys, it is Sunday morning, so I'm still wearing the same clothes because I haven't changed yet. But I did finish this book. I finished most of it yesterday, but I got within the last 50-60 pages, which I finished this morning. It's not a great book. That's the truth of it. I gave it a 2 stars. It's just, there's not much of a plot. I don't want to spoil it in case you want to read it, but I mean, don't. Basically it's about this nanny, and her name is Nanny, which bothered me. There were a couple things in there that was why? And so she is working for, obviously, like, this mom who's super stuck up, just doesn't actually want to be around her kid, whatever. The dad is having an affair with another woman, which is obviously awkward for the nanny. And she's just trying to take care of the kid, and she's being basically mistreated and not being paid frequently and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, she has a crush on this guy, and, like, that never gets resolved, which I guess, whatever. But, like, there's no real plot point. Like, there's no climax of the story. At the very end, she leaves. Sorry, I guess that's a spoiler. She leaves, and but it's just, like, it just feels very flat. Like, okay, the dad's having an affair. But, like, you hear it a couple times and you're like, okay, cool, that's sad. How are we going to resolve this? And then it's never resolved. I feel like it was just like one long anecdote. But there was no, like, real resolution to anything. Like, nobody changed. There was not a lot of, like, character growth or development. It was just kind of a weird book. At first, I liked it. At first, it wasn't bad because it was kind of, like, almost funny, like, almost like satire, kind of making fun of the people who hire nannies and have a lot of money and are all into the, you know, they need to buy purses and they're going to meetings, they don't actually have a job, whatever. And then once you kind of get past that first bit, it just kind of gets boring. So, not a great book. Don't recommend. Do I recommend this service, getting these books? It depends. It depends on who you are. So you can get different genres and stuff. So if you really are in a slump and you don't know what to read at all, and you just want some random books, and sure, this is a cheap way to buy books. I did have the one mishap where one of the books that came was not, was in a series. It wasn't what I was asking, but I have a feeling whoever donated that book or whatever, because they are used books, had the wrong dust jacket on it. However, these people should have been checking to make sure that it was the correct dust jacket. So I don't know whose fault that is, but either way, it was kind of a disappointment. So I only actually ended up reading 4 of the books. So there's that. I think really though, I would recommend this for anybody who has children who read super quickly, because you can buy like tons of children's books for relatively cheap. So, I know right now, not all libraries and stuff are open, so, like, for right now, actually, it's probably a good option if you can't get out to a library and your kids want to read books. But yeah, I don't know, it was kind of a fun experiment, but now I'm gonna go on to reading the books that I personally choose for myself. I know there are some services where you can put in books that you like, and they'll, like, get books that kind of fit into those categories, but they are a lot more expensive than this, so that might be fun to try at some point. But as it is now, I have a bunch of books on my TBR that I am looking forward to reading and that I want to read, and there are new releases coming out this year that I want to read, so I'll probably stick to reading those for now, until I hit a point again where I just don't know what to read. So yeah, that is the end of this vlog. I hope you had fun watching this. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!